Hi, and welcome back to End Times Prophecy News Update. This is Carrie Geren Scoggins. Back today on the topic of what do we allow on government land? The heated debate over 10 commandments allowed on government property. What is a separation of church and state? Now being carried over into other areas, such as the removal of statues that some may find offensive. When covering the topic of religious symbols on government land, most liberal Democrats, those that have complained that it violates the separation of church and state and that it endorses particular religions, have kept quiet in the recent changes. Oklahoma City erecting a pagan god called Baphomet, known to have been associated with Satanism. Detroit, Michigan, allowing satanic images and statues erected for the holidays. Particularly offensive that it was over the Christmas holiday, a holiday that recognizes the birth of Jesus Christ. So they go and erect symbology diabolically opposed to that of the Christian faith and allow a satanic invocation with the Church of Satan there to put on a program on government land. The state of Florida, in many areas, in rebellion to the federal Supreme Court ruling, citing that cities can have their meetings opening with prayers unto God and that it could be Christian. In rebellion, they turn and do things such as opening their prayer with an atheist prayer, and several counties opened with prayers to Satan. This is more and more indicative of the one-sidedness of the liberal Democrats. Where was the ACLU and the Freedom from Religion Foundation at these events? Adding to this, the Tennessee school system, busing students to the new mosque to get a free Quran. Some schools have a walk a mile in her burqa day. I don't remember the ACLU complaining, filing suit. There were town meetings, and nothing was done. America has never more needed the American Center for Law and Justice and ACLU and religious right Republicans to stand up and say, it's freedom straight across the board, or not at all. When's the last time you saw the Tennessee school system bus students to the Pentecostal church and give out free Bibles? Yet they find it okay to bus the students to a mosque and get a free Quran and call that teaching religious tolerance. I haven't heard them teach religious tolerance for the Southern Baptists, the Pentecostals, the Methodists, the Catholics. Instead, only more of the same Nazi-style anti-Christian propaganda that we see from the New Age movement that was carried over from Nazi Germany, accusing the Christians of being ridiculous or arrogant for thinking that they have the only path unto God. That we saw in the newspapers in Munich, in pre-Nazi Germany, accusing the Christians and Jews of the same. Where was the ACLU when the Baphomet was erected in Oklahoma City on government land? We've had other pagan symbols up, the Eye of Horus, the obelisk, or Washington Monument, which was a symbol to the pagan god Osiris. Horus and Osiris, both Egyptian pagan deities, now worshipped in Wicca, and as some know in Freemasonry, as well as the Statue of Liberty, which was the pagan goddess Ishtar, also of Egypt, and also recognized as a main goddess in Wicca, the New Age pagan goddess worship that has swept the nation since the 1990s. We may see across America a turning the backs on the Bible and turning to New Age indoctrination and paganism, the same anti-Christian agenda and de-Christianizing that went on in Nazi Germany, as the Bible refers to it as the Great Falling Away. However, on a legal basis, what we're looking at is religious discrimination towards the Christians and Jews. They feel it fine to go ahead and erect the trendy New Age pagan and satanic symbols up on government land, with no complaints from the Freedom from Religion Foundation or the ACLU of state endorsement or separation of church and state, but rather we see Democrats in the media pushing it as religious tolerance and religious freedom. We never heard those words during the Ten Commandments debate out of the Democrat-ran media, that it was religious tolerance to put a symbol of Judaism and Christianity, such as the Ten Commandments, erected up on public land. They claimed that there was a freedom from religion, which of course is not in our Constitution, and that is not how the federal Supreme Court has ruled thus far. Exactly the opposite. In the federal Supreme Court rulings, we see our legal right to proselytize a full uncensored Bible, even on government land. They did not win a freedom from religion. There is no freedom from religion. It's time for Americans to speak up and speak out and start wearing their Christianity loudly, that we're not going to go quietly into the night. We will not fall by the wayside. We will not take our crosses down. And though they may erect a Baphomet or a satanic symbol right beside it, we will stand up for Christian civil rights, as we are taxpayers, and we deserve equal representation. It's religious freedom when we practice our religion too. The one-sidedness of the Democratic Party is soon to fall by the wayside because more and more people are hearing this message. This is Carrie Geren Scoggins, End Times Prophecy News Update. Thank you for listening.